joining me here. My name is CCP Shreddy. I'm the live producer for EVE Online. And yeah, I'm going to talk about the live events and the agency today. So just a little introduction for myself. Who am I? Why am I here? What are you going to hear from me? I'm one of the newer CCP members, so some people might not actually know who I am. I'm the live producer, so I kind of take care of everything to do with live events, some tournament stuff, and just creating like a direction and strategy for where to take these in-game events. Combines kind of both development and the marketing side of it as well. And I'm the producer of the event team, which is Team Event Horizon. They would have been here at Vegas last year with the presentation, if anybody has attended 2 years in a row. And yeah, basically we're the team that makes live events. What are events? So if anyone here, I'm hoping everyone's played events here. If not, hopefully we can sell you to try one out. It's basically just new gameplay content that's, we launch about every month. It is around for maybe about a week, sometimes 2 weeks. And we have some exclusive challenges, exclusive sites, just pretty much exclusive experiences for this. We give away a lot of exclusive rewards and new things like materials. Cerebral accelerators is a very fresh thing that we give away. And we just try to provide new gameplay. We are allowed to test things in it, things that are basically just around for a limited time. It's a way for us to learn very fast as well. We're launching something every month, and we have people playing it. We can see what's good, what's not so good, and then hopefully try to change it for the months to come. We work with a lot of different teams as well. We kind of have our hands in with everything. Some of the other teams we work with are the art team, very, very closely. They help us make our environments and the rewards that we give away, some of the cosmetic ones such as skins and a new one coming out shortly that I'll get to later. The marketing community team, they have our back every month on this here. So basically, we have to run campaigns every month so people actually know these things are going on. For acquiring new players to the game, for bringing back old players, and just for making general awareness for everyone who actually plays the game. And we partner up with a lot of the gameplay teams as well. So we work with Psycho Sisters quite a bit on some UI tweaks. NPC behaviors is something we're tackling with Team Phenomenon. We have new challenges in these events as well, which need some triggers sometimes because we don't work in every feature. So just pretty much if we need something, we partner up with some of the teams around us. I just kind of want to do a recap of some of the things we've done this year, just going off of what we've learned, and hopefully we hear you guys. We need to provide the feedback for us, and if I skip over anything here that you want to make sure we know, come to the round table after this and tell me directly. Federation Grand Prix is the first one I want to touch on. This one came out in June for 2 weeks, and it was inspired by Galente Federation Day, which was actually a player-run event. It happened a few years ago and went on for about 5-6 years, and then kind of went a little dormant. So we brought it back as an official CCP boosted event. So this event here, we changed a lot of things up. We're trying something new. So we actually removed all the combat elements from the event, and we had no challenges with this. And we had the users basically start in the Luminaire system and follow. The challenge was basically a time trial. So you'd have to go to different areas of interest in New Eden and do it within a time limit to earn your points, back to Luminaire, and try it again. So this is the time that we had a single area to start the event in Galente space. And while lore-wise it made a lot of sense, get to in a moment, it didn't really make a lot of sense for us for actually bringing people into it to play. Cerebral accelerators, we actually provided more of these than ever in any other event, and they were way easier to get in this one too. So we're hoping that this would be kind of a motivator to get everybody in, since cerebral accelerators are a hot topic for every event. And yeah, we actually had a bunch of event participation that was not meant to be event participation, and it kind of showed us how we can modify the universe without actually intending to in it. Basically, everyone was smart bombing people at a bottleneck in the gateway system. So to show how many people were getting roasted in the gateway system, yeah, that's what we did. Did anybody here, were you one of those guys sitting there camping everybody and destroying them? Or was anyone an innocent bystander for this and got roasted within it? Oh yeah, there we go. Nice. So yeah, what do we learn from this event? The direction that we did with the event, our participation was just really, really low in this one here. We had about 16,000 unique pilots actually play this event, which is about 6 times less than the event before it. And we just kind of bring that down to, it was in one area in Galente space. No one's going to travel across New Eden to go participate in something like this. It's too far, it's too risky. You know, even if you're more than a few jumps away, you kind of really got to think about it. So what do we learn? We started making the access points to events just, you know, kind of everywhere in space, way more easily accessible. That events can actually affect New Eden in ways we don't expect. So like the gateway distractions there, you know, we classified that as event participation because, yeah, you guys were doing something with our event, just not in a way that was ever designed for or intended to. The racing, the time trials, so the new thing that we tried there, and removing any combat or mining or industry challenges, it was just kind of boring. It wasn't fun to really do. It was a bad grind. Maybe it's a nice thing to put in and mix it up with some other things, but having that one thing in there was just too much. And as I said about the cerebral accelerators, we had tons of them, item everybody loves. Great rewards, they don't remedy unfavorable gameplay. So even with that, it just couldn't drive people to play. Another one we did in August was the Secrets of the Abyss. So with the May expansion, we had Abyssal Dead Space. Instead of creating new content for our event, we kind of just hopped onto this system. CCP Rise mentioned earlier that Abyssal Dead Space, people who are in it love it, great quality users. They get a lot out of it, they have a good time. We just need to put more people in it. So we're kind of partnering with them to surface it to more people and maybe give some pilots who might be a little intimidated by it or not sure the risk reward is there, kind of give them a little kick in the door. Yeah, so basically, yeah, we were attempting to drive users to bring awareness to the feature. This one here, we did some kind of like under the hood things with the events, and we refined our rewards and their distribution. Since we didn't add any new drops or any new NPCs into the Abyss, the rewards were just given out on our milestone track. So we always give out exclusive skins for our events, and they're usually in drops, and it's a huge range of them. They're maybe not the greatest quality. So this time here, we put out a very high quality with super cool effects skins for the 3 Triglavian ships that were just rewarded for progressing through the event. We had a couple agency and info panel UI updates as well. So basically, you'd have to claim your rewards when we were doing that. The reasoning we did that was we had a lot of challenges that were just very generic over Eve. Kill an NPC, get a bounty. And we could never measure intent. Is someone just killing an NPC because that's what you do in the game, or are they actually killing an NPC because there is an event and a challenge and a reward around it? And we're doing some of the testing as well. The tier 4 and 5 suspect flag removal. So something we tried to remove to get people playing these tiers in high sec because a lot of people weren't going in there. So we had a hunch and we tested it. So yeah, basically we can successfully drive users into content using the event system. This is everyone who went into the Abyss, started by security. Blue is high sec there. And at the very far left, you can see that was when the Abyss initially launched. So where the event started, we actually had a peak there that was just a little bit higher than the highest we had seen on the Abyss, and then how it tailed off and kind of returned to normal. We did have a kind of a strange dip a couple weeks after the event, but then it kind of went back to the same upward trend. We also did a survey about the Abyss afterwards, and we sent it out to about 15,000 people, just to ask questions like, why did you play, why did you not play? And yeah, about 41% had actually never played Abyssal Dead Space until they participated in this event, and this came up. So we actually asked them, why did they not do that? Why would they do it now? So you could answer a couple different things here, but the biggest one is we had additional rewards on this, as well as they didn't know about it. So that was something that we took, especially from like a marketing side and in-game marketing side. You know, how did you miss the Abyss? Were you brand new? Were you under a rock the whole time? Are you on a communication channel that we're not covering? So it's kind of opened our eyes to trying to fix that and trying to really identify, like, how do you know about our new content, not even just events. And yeah, the small changes like can drastically alter behavior. So these are the high-sec tier 4 and 5 abyssal pockets there. So you can see where the event came in and then the trend afterwards. So now people are in there taking a little higher risk, getting the more quality loot out of it. Yeah, we got a few things coming for the rest of 2018. One of them is going to be coming out here in a couple days. Just want to touch on that. The Crimson Harvest, just one of our staple events in EVE. It's coming back. Starts on Tuesday. It'll be around for 2 weeks. And even though it's coming back in the same namesake, and we do have some of the same connections to the previous one, it is a totally new experience. We have new sites, we have new rewards, new challenges. And the biggest thing with this one here is we're actually pushing our dungeon tech in K-Space. So basically, the Abyss is gorgeous, and we wanted to bring that to more areas of the game. So we were able to bring the skyboxes, the background nebulas from Abyssal Space into K-Space. So you'll see that with the dungeons coming up here. And I just want to quickly show you the dungeons sneak peek a couple days early. So this is going to be one of the first dungeons. So this one here, we've done a little more thematic with some of the asteroids. They kind of look a little pumpkin-esque with some, goo and ectoplasm and some, candles lit in them as well. We're tying that into the event as well and trying to create more of an event industry economy with it. So there's a new material you'll be able to mine off those, which feed into some BPCs that are coming within the event for you to create a bunch of super special cerebral accelerators. And the second dungeon here, you'll get a little closer to it. This is a more combat-oriented dungeon. It's going to be Blood Raiders themed still, obviously. And so we have this structure here, and there's a force field on it. So pilots will have to figure out how to destroy that to actually get to the boss inside to complete the dungeon. And yeah, so this is the art we're actually using for that nebula background skybox. This is kind of the same stuff we're using with Abyssal Dead Space. And going forward in events, really want to hear your guys' feedback of how these visuals impact your play experience with it. Does it draw you in? We're going to be trying more things coming up to just push, what does a site look like in the game visually and gameplay-wise. Quickly running through the rewards. We got a lot of drops in this one, so that Cerebral Accelerator and the BPCs. New boosters and modules in it, and we got a bunch of new trinkets, just kind of a thematic thing to tie into it all. We got a super cool skin line, the Deathglow Hunters. It's going to be 4 skins for it, and we kind of ripped them off of the Headhunters and said, hey, can you give us Headhunters 2.0 and tie into some of the cool colors we're using? Get a little more connected to Halloween. Headhunter skins are coming back. We expanded the line for them. They'll be available in the New Eden store. And that new mineable material is going to be used after the event as well. So stock up, because you don't know what you might not be able to craft yet. So this is that line of skins that'll be for this here. It'll be for 4 ships, the Macarial, Avatar, Gila, and Astero. And here's some of the snapshots of what we're actually covering the Headhunter skin, what we're expanding it to. And we have a super cool new trailer out for this as well that we can quickly show you here. Sweet. So yeah, I just want to quickly run over our December event as well. So Crimson Harvest, we're kind of pushing the dungeon tech a little bit, and we're doing it once again for December. So this is something, while I'm having fun in Vegas, all the poor guys on my team are slaving away at this back in Reykjavik. So we're going to be doing something super cool, where pilots can actually get closer to a planet than ever. You're going to be able to break through the atmosphere and get right to the surface of a planet. It's going to be a fresh event. We're not bringing back the Yoil Festival, and we're hoping to do some pretty cool things with it. Not going to overpromise here too much, but we have some things that are going to be some for sures in it. So this is going to be the first site that you go to. There's kind of this wintry crack in space. And when you go a little closer to it, we find this new unknown planet. We do not know what is there yet, just kind of hiding inside the tear. So through the magic of EVE Online, you're going to be able to get a little closer and break through the icy atmosphere to it, which will lead you to the planet. And I can show you just a little sneak peek of that. So yeah, with this event, we're going to have tons of new rewards, new challenges, and just really embracing some of the cool new stuff we're able to do with this here. The NPCs on the planet, not going to spoil those for you, but it should be something super cool, brand new experience for this here, and something we haven't seen before in events. So yeah, 2019. While we're finishing up 2018 here, we're making plans of what the heck we're going to do for the whole next year. And we have some super cool stuff, some of it cooler than others, some of it, you know, kind of housekeeping stuff we got to do. But just want to quickly run through some of that. So new event types. So basically in the direction we're going right now, we just want bigger, badder events. Really finding what the system of events is. We've done a lot of experimenting with different event types this year. As I told you before, some went super good, some went super bad, as you can see. And we're really starting to pinpoint what users who like our event system really enjoy engaging in. Exploring some contextual events for specific users. So EVE is overwhelming to get into at the beginning. Maybe serving up, you know, a day 7 event for someone to just kind of get them trying a few different things, see if they can find their place within it. If someone's starting to become more of an industrialist, maybe there's just a little event that'll kind of boost their way a little quicker and get them, you know, a little more ramped up to actually start joining a corp and providing, you know, the value that they have. Shorter term events. This is something we've been actually working on the past month, and we have 2 of them in the bank. So just kind of shorter, less than a week, little quick things to give out, some like super exclusive rewards. So with September's event, the Rogue Swarm Alert, we gave away some of the rewards of a new BPC for a new drone type, and just little things like that. New drone here, and this is where you can get it, you know, in the Garistas style event, and then it's gone for another year or something. And then just multiple events at the same time. Everyone is very specialized in EVE, and sometimes you just can't do all the stuff you want to do in an event. So kind of catering to more types of players out there, so there's something for everyone. UI UX updates. So updating the agency, which I'll get to shortly. We're overhauling our challenge card systems and the info panel, basically just how we convey our event information. What do you need to know? What actually matters? What is just quick and easily digestible? Finding new ways of onboarding people into the content. So not even just through our marketing efforts outside of the game, but when you log in and the Crimson Harvest is out on Tuesday, how do you know other than word of mouth? Modernizing our branding of our event system, so kind of just breaking it out of, you know, events is the agency, which is not, we're just a stakeholder within the agency. And then, yeah, the limited time badge. We started putting that on some of the items in the past little bit and just continually growing that repertoire of things. So here's some of the little ones we had just done in August. So the new claim buttons and just kind of displaying info that you needed to know a little better. These are some of our mocks, just kind of tidying up a bit before we go into our full agency redesign, but reusing some of it. We're just making the challenge cards just so much easier to use. Just all about function at this point. Something that CCP Burger showed off in his presentation on day 1 were daily campaigns. So basically, these are just themed campaigns that reward users upon login. We got some cool exclusive rewards for the login if you log into the campaign date range. We'll have different rewards for Alpha and Omega, so everybody will get something. Omegas will get, you know, double duty on it. And it's a way for us to actually distribute gifts and rewards from CCP. So some of the promos we do kind of around Capsuleer Day or Christmas holiday gifts, it's going to be a great tool to give us a lot of power for that. And as he mentioned before, this is a feature that we're just kind of test out a few times on ourselves and then hopefully get it in the hands of corps and alliances next year as well. So you can incentivize people joining your corp, actually being useful for your corp, and sticking around and being a part of that society. So just a quick little video showing this. So yeah, this is something that we want to be very light and hopefully as unintrusive as possible. So this is something we definitely want to hear feedback on. The agency. So the agency has gotten little to no love over the past year, just being totally real with everybody. And we're trying to change that. So it's our current gateway for our events, but it can be so much more than that. So Team Event Horizon is partnering with Psycho Sisters right now, and we're dedicated to just making the event information easier to find, clearer to use, and then actually just making it more beneficial for everyone. We think there's a lot of strength within this feature, and we just need to showcase it better. Pilots of any age should be able to find some benefit in going in there. So I'm going to quickly just run through. This is some just high-level concepts that we've been throwing around for the past little while. So we have this one here, which is more of like an art-heavy kind of tabbed approach. Trying to do something that breaks out of the conventions of some of the UI in Eve as well. Make this a lot more interactable to find your content. Yeah, this one here is kind of more like a little fancier style UI with it. Bigger focus on each of the sections for what you want to do. Kind of the same thing as the previous one, but just a little more in your face, easy to use for this kind of thing. And then, yeah, this is kind of a happy medium between the two that we're exploring. Each of them has their own strengths, their own weaknesses, and it's something we're going to be testing out here within the next few months. Basically, we're just actually dedicating time to it at this point. This is something that's beneficial, especially for onboarding new users into the game, and for just, the events team is something that is changing quite often. We're launching content, and our trajectory is very quick. We just need to make it more functional for that. The event branding that I touched on earlier, this is something we're actively working on. There's some identity crisis about a year ago where events are the agency, but then the agency is a new thing, and then we kind of didn't change it back, so just doing some housekeeping on that. My poor UI designer, this is 8 of the icons he's been making up, and we're trying to find what's the feel that makes you feel events, and he's probably made about 150 other ones as well. He's probably not too pleased with me right now, but it's all in the pursuit of greatness on this point. And rewards. So basically the entire event reward cadence, we're trying to figure out what really works. There's no catch-all for this here, but what is something we can do that's really beneficial to pilots of one type compared to another type? So cosmetics is one of them, so any of the skins. Facial augmentations is going to be a new reward that we're coming out, so a new way to actually show off your identity and dress your character. Trying to bring in some more industry and create an event economy with it, so just distributing things with new materials through events and BPCs to kind of get some of those, what can you do after the event? How does this actually tie back into the game and the path you've chosen? And just, yeah, as always, event stuff is exclusive and is available for that set time. I just want to show off some of the cosmetics that we're working towards in events, and then some of the things that will be on the New Eden store here shortly. So this was shown a couple days ago here, but some of the Serenity skins that have never been accessible on TQ, we're converting those over to be a little more performant with the standards on TQ, and we're going to be bringing 2 lines over to the server here actually very shortly. Be in the New Eden store for a limited time, and we're going to be bringing more in the coming months. The Serenity skins are pretty cool looking, so we definitely want to get them in people's hands. The first one we're bringing over to TQ is the Mimitar Heroine skin. And we'll be bringing the Zen skin line as well. Trying to kind of cater to the people. We're flying popular ships right now. The Gila is, everyone knows this is the Abyssal dead running ship at this point. The art team is just making like leaps and bounds on the quality of their skins, really pushing it on the effects and that kind of stuff. So we'll have these Gila skins coming out shortly. Basically, each one of those there has effects off of an Abyssal dead space pocket type, the different weathers. And with the effects, we have this kind of tiger heat skin coming out shortly. And yeah, you can see the cool heat ripples and everything with that. And then in concept phase right now, we're trying to explore something to do with a little more glows on ships. Try to get a little more color and that kind of stuff in it and see how we can get some different effects in there. Just something for everyone. Identity is a huge part of the game, and you should try to push the boundaries on how to identify your ship as well. Speaking of identity, so facial augmentations is going to be a new reward that'll be given away throughout the December event, and something we'll be bringing into our daily campaigns as well for the first little bit. It's something we started with Project Discovery using LP points. You could purchase these, and the art team has really pioneered this one here and handed them over to us to go, let's get some snazzy identification for people. The first line of 9 that we have right now, these are the male versions of them. And their female counterparts for each design. So this is something we'll be expanding as well, and investigating in some different colors and that kind of stuff, so everybody can really show off their good look. The event themes coming into 2019, so some of the boundaries we're pushing now in the last quarter of the year. We're going to be bringing them back with some staples like the Guardians Gala in February and the Hunt in April. But completely updated to our new event standards. Secrets of the Abyss should be returning, but once again, souped up, so new rewards, and then new challenges to deal with all the co-op, frigate, PvP content that's going to be added shortly, and just brand new themes, things that we've never investigated before, some very lore, some very seasonal, but they should be pretty sweet. And I just wanted to touch on one thing here. So our team launches content every month. By the time something's launching, we're already moved on a month or two. And then when everything goes south, you got to come back and fix it. So we've had some boo-boos over the past little while. And this one here is kind of a funny one, so I wanted to share it with you and eat my slice of humble pie for this. So Secrets of the Abyss, we launched that at the same time that we updated the NPE. And there was always a check in the MPE that was, don't show events in the agency to pilots under 3 days. So just don't confuse them with bombardment of things, limited time content. Let's wait till they're at least a little established through the door. And when the MPE changed and that connected differently, something got kind of hooked up a little backwards, which basically didn't show the event to people over 3 days of age, which was pretty much everybody in the game. Yeah, whoops, no one could play that one. So the team, kind of like Kevin McAllister in Home Alone, screamed at each other, and then we tried to get it fixed super quick. Knew exactly what it was, got it fixed, deployed. Okay, everyone can see the event. And then it got even worse. So yeah, this was the first event that we launched after making ways that we track event progress. So this is a bunch of tooling that we had done. We had started a couple months before in a different branch, brought it all in, and we didn't update the DB in that one there. So the event IDs were a little incorrect, and we started getting information from people saying, hey, I just started the event and it says I've completed it or I have progress. So since that DB wasn't in line with it, if anyone had actually played the Hunt a few months earlier, that progress transferred over. So Kevin McAllister Scream Round 2, and we're like, man, there's no way to fix this. We actually need to change this ID. Super simple, but then there was a lot of legitimate players out there that had started the event and started gaining progress. And I'm sorry if it was one of you guys, but we had to wipe all the data. And it was only in the first couple hours. We figured it out super quick, got it launched, and hopefully no one got too far in that little bit, but sorry if it did happen. And then it got even worse, but even better at the same time. So get an email from our tech director after, and it was like, whoa, a lot of people are playing the Abyss, as you saw in that spike earlier. And I took a quote from him on this one here. So the CPU usage on the Abyssal Dead Space nodes is through the roof, and the character service nodes have taken a stark turn for the worse today. So character service nodes basically host every pilot, and if those start going down, they domino affect each other, and catastrophe happens. Then an instant reply from our creative director, which was, yay for activity. And then you could hear like a scream in a far off room about that one. And I just kind of laughed at my computer. And yeah, so we checked the data. It was like, how much activity has this actually gone up? Yeah, so that was the Abyss, the nodes before that. And we actually had added some server blades to it before, anticipating this, but we didn't add enough. So yeah, how do we actually fix it? So the CPU, we started looking into it. Project Discovery was actually had an error on TQ that was just destroying the CPU. It was actually using 3.5 times the spike that we were using. And thankfully, the team that was working on that, they actually had their fix ready. And they're like, yeah, we're launching that fix tomorrow. We're like, okay, super cool. Or we would have no idea what to do on our side because we can't really turn this off. And we added some additional hardware on the Abyssal nodes. And we survived the weekend. We didn't take down Abyssal Dead Space or the character nodes, and kind of just high-fived and wiped our brows after that one. So yeah, I want to hear from you guys, whether you play events, whether you would like to play events, what you'd like to see. Anything to do with tournaments as well is completely open for the roundtable. Things like Alliance Tournament, Thunderdome in general is all something that kind of falls under my realm, and it's great to talk about face-to-face with everyone, what their wants and desires are. So the roundtable is immediately after this, and yeah, just come join me and let's have some chats, answer some questions. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for sitting through my rambling.